I believe that it's the Western world's responsibility to hold China accountable for this. I don't think that's happening. I don't see anybody really inside the United Nations holding China accountable. In fact, I would think even though the United Nations is based here in the United States, it certainly is working against the United States. I think China is pulling the strings more than we think inside the United Nations.
Absolutely. You look at how many more CCP's officials' families and their children was able to go and find jobs and have internships with the United Nations. You know how much the deep ties that the CCP was able to create with the United Nations. All the social medias that were promoting CCP's families, their child going abroad and went to United Nations for fancy dinners, you understand that the CCP was paying for it.
You know, this wasn't on my topic to talk about, but I'm really committed to fighting for American sovereignty, meaning that we call our own shots in this country. America always has. I've prided myself of being American because of our sovereignty. It looks to me like that is under attack. When you look at the World Health Organization, when you look at the United Nations, when you look at the World Economic Forum, all of them are trying to create these games and plays to take away American sovereignty, including this pandemic treaty, which is very, very frightening. And again, I think behind the scenes, this is China pulling the strings to weaken America.
It was not just from these organizations, right, Grant? If you look at the real estate purchase and all these other mansions that were purchased by the Chinese Communist government and their proxies, you understand that the land was also being bought by the Chinese Communist Party as well. You look at Manhattan, the skylines, those luxury apartments, many of them were funded and invested by the Chinese Communist Party's funds. And you go to around corners of Central Park, these luxury mansions were actually held by proxies of the CCP government. Joseph Tsai was one of the proxy for Jack Ma and for the Chinese Communist government. The most luxurious apartment was held under Joseph Tsai was actually owned by the Chinese Communist Party. This was what happened today in the United States, that people are forgetting that they're losing their interest in this country and they're losing their faith into God. In return, they're agreeing with the devil deals with the Chinese Communist Party. And you look at all these other world economic forums, they have become covers for the Chinese Communist Party to commit crimes.
Yeah, I think America and Americans ought to wake up to what's going on and to all of this, which is one reason why I'm grateful to the new federal state of China for helping spread the message on this on so many platforms, not just mine and not just Real America's Voice, but so many platforms.